KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, the Public Utilities Commission approves another rate increase, meaning yet another hike to your power bills. Plus, the gubernatorial candidate rivalry drags on, the rift leading to a longtime public debate being canceled. And the candidates for Attorney General take one last swing before the Guam Bar Association.
Hafidin, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime this Friday, October 28th. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo. Great to have you here, ending your week here with us.
Your power bill will be going up again. The PUC approving another rate increase last night, but it's only about half of what GPA was asking for.
The average 1,000 kilowatt residential power bill will increase starting in November by about $22 a month. Nestor Lecanto reports.
This will be the third in a three-phase increase in the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC since July. GPA was seeking an 11% rise to 34 cents per kilowatt, but PUC Administrative Law Judge Fred Harecki recommended a lower option of 32 cents, which the commission ultimately approved.
It was my feeling that since the LEAC had already gone up 47% this year, that anything the PUC could do to reduce the impact would be a good thing, beneficial for the ratepayers. So in my mind, that was a more bearable increase. There's also the factor that the PUC will again in January reassess the LEAC for the next 6-month period.
Officials blame soaring global fuel prices for the rate pressure, and to hold down rates during the height of the pandemic, GPA opted not to recover all of its fuel costs. The administration and the legislature also chipped in with millions in direct power bill subsidies, but now the fuel cost under recovery balance has grown to $41 million, and GPA is feeling the pinch.
The fuel payments now range in the area of $32 million a month. They used to be 18 to 20 million, maybe in the 20s, but now it's a big upfront cash payment. So letting the under recovery grow any further would in my mind, not have been feasible.
The balance is expected to go down from 41 million to about 34. Meanwhile, the average consumer power bill will go up about 5.5% effective November 1st. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The 2022 Great Gubernatorial Debate scheduled for next Thursday is officially canceled. BOG making the announcement on behalf of the student organizers. Meanwhile, the two camps who are debating, we're debating who's to blame. The Camacho Addict campaign issuing a statement saying the tradition of public discourse will forever be changed by the absence of this event. They add that the months-long work by the OG's Master of Public Administration cohort was, quote, completely erased by the pettiness of Lou and Josh and their campaign committee. In response, Lou and Josh's campaign spokesperson Roy Respicio saying, quote, had Felix Camacho agreed to debate fairly in front of women, the free press, and Chamorro language students, Lou and Josh would have been at all debates. Felix Camacho does not get to decide who counts in this election, just like in any other election in Guam's history. Lou and Josh believe that it's the people who count.
And the Guam Bar hosted the final AG debate at UOG today. Incumbent AG Levin Camacho was present, along with AG candidate Doug Moylan and write-in candidate Peter Santos. One of the questions that was asked of the AG candidates was their thought on the growing drug addiction problem and how it should be handled.
Being in those shoes late at night. Part of the therapeutic drug court training that they have to even make a class about this. It's because the prosecutors are not being cooperative. They have this us against them attitude like Mr. Moylan has. But you can't help solve the problem unless you work more collaboratively.
The Attorney General puts people in jail, as the Senator said they should be, and that sends the deterrent message. It hasn't worked, ladies and gentlemen. He keeps saying and digging his heels in deeper just help these guys. That's not the way it's done. Get more drug dogs. Have GPD open up, just not 4 dogs, get 2 dozen dogs. We need to kill this in the bud.
We will continue to support drug interdiction, and I will tell you exactly what we're going to do. It's not a soundbite. And I believe that our job as the AG's office is to reduce crime, which again includes incarceration. Violent offenders, repeat offenders, you need to go to jail. And it was the judge who said that
The general election is slated for Tuesday, November 8th. And a woman is found dead in the waters off Two Lovers Point early today. It happened just before 9 a.m. this morning. KUAM confirms with witnesses reported to authorities that they saw someone jumping from the cliff line. Authorities have not confirmed her name, and Guam police are still investigating.
A man wanted for questioning is captured by Guam police. 36-year-old Michael Badar is charged with attempted aggravated assault, terrorizing, family violence, and harassment. Court documents state he threatened a woman and a man known to him before hitting their car with a machete. Badar also allegedly trying to stab the man. In a separate incident, prosecutors say he allegedly threatened a woman with a gun. Well, we have more news in a moment.
Keep it here to KUAM News.
One thing about Attorney Fisher is he likes fairness, so I believe everyone will be treated equally.
He likes helping people. I'm looking for a fighter.
I'm looking for a senator who is willing to stand up for the people.
I'm looking for someone who not only supports the older generation, but also the younger generation.
He's a good man and he does what he says.
The Diaz family supports Tom Fisher.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this message.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Pinilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
Half a day, I'm Clint Rigel. I've had the opportunity to work with Senator Joe San Agustin as his vice chair to his Committee on Appropriations. And I must say, he's done an excellent job with the budget during the 2 terms that he's had it. In fact, he's done such a great job that we've not only eliminated the deficit, we've created a surplus, something that's only possible by spending less money than we bring in. If you want someone who's fiscally responsible, vote for Senator Joe San Agustin.
Fear and intimidation has no place in our government. Yet Tony and I hear from many people they are being intimidated to support the current administration. They're being told to put campaign signs in their yard or bumper stickers on their car. Tony and I will never threaten or intimidate. This is not what our island is about. This has no place in our community. It's time to restore our values and traditions of honor, duty, and respect. It's a new season. I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
My name is Lisa Tahaji. I'm from the village of Yamatic. I lost my job during COVID. For 1 year, I was staying with a family member, but I knew I had to find a place to stay. I was desperately looking for a home. I found out about the Relief Center from the Governor Liu and Lieutenant Governor Josh's Facebook page. I wasn't sure if they could help, but I thought I'd take a chance. I walked into the center and the staff were so understanding and compassionate, they helped me. Within a week, through their assistance, I was called to sign a lease agreement. My kids and I now have a roof over our heads, and I'm grateful for the help of the administration and the Relief Center. For anyone who needs any government assistance, I encourage you to visit the Relief Center. They are there to help.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Thanks, Taco Bell!
Welcome back. Well, North Korea fired a ballistic missile off its east coast today. The Guam Homeland Security again responding to the repeated launches that there is no immediate threat to the Marianas. Officials here continue working with local, military, and federal partners to monitor the events.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon today released the unclassified version of the U.S. National Defense Strategy, which for the first time included the Missile Defense Review. According to a Defense News report, the review stresses the need to prioritize the missile defense architecture on Guam, which is already underway. We reached out to Admiral Benjamin Nicholson for comment. He said, "The NDS clearly states the homeland missile defense is DoD's top priority to deter attacks, and therefore it is also one of my top priorities for Guam. The missile threat continues to rise for both rogue states and advanced adversaries. We are working closely with the Missile Defense Agency to establish a persistent 360-degree layered integrated air and missile defense capability on Guam, which will address the rapid evolution of adversary threats."
Senators met in legislative session today to vote on several bills. One measure approved was by Senator Frank Blas Jr. It establishes a criminal law and procedure review commission whose job will be to update the criminal code, which has only been changed in piecemeal fashion over the past 40 years. Supreme Court Chief Justice Phil Carbolito offered support during floor discussion.
This is a very important undertaking, and we're hoping that with the support of the legislature that we can step up and provide the initiative to include all various sections of our legal community.
Good afternoon. Include Vice Speaker Tina Barnes's measure to ensure reasonable workplace accommodations for pregnant women, to be known as the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. Speaker Therese Chalahi's bill to end forced arbitration of sexual assault and sexual harassment charges. Senators also passing a resolution by Tony Addott to request the Guam Education Department to incorporate financial literacy into its curriculum.
And Guam's Julian Uggin's nationwide book tour has united the island's diaspora. And he's making one last stop in the NMI amid an international climate battle in court.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglutnia reports from Saipan.
International human rights lawyer Julian Uggin is back in the Marianas after a 6-week book tour across the U.S.
To me, the highlight was really just meeting all of these indigenous chamorros everywhere across the countries who work a variety of jobs, who really come from all walks of life, but they really came together.
The Pulitzer Prize finalist who authored The Properties of Perpetual Light and No Country for 8-Spot Butterflies is on Saipan for one last keynote address before heading back to Guam this week. On Friday morning, he gave the keynote speech at the NMI Humanities Council's first ever conference on reporting the truth in the NMI, highlighting a UOG study on news consumption and behavior in the islands.
I was sort of encouraging, local journalists to really write in-depth pieces, including investigatory pieces, because I think the community, both in the NMI and Guam, our communities are longing for more depth. They want, real civic engagement.
His talk comes amid his international law firm, Blue Ocean Law, assisting the Republic of Vanuatu in its pursuit of an advisory opinion on climate change and human rights from the International Court of Justice.
There's a lot of activity happening right now in New York in preparation for that.
Tomas Manglutnia for KUAM News.
Well, today we're in red to observe National Epidermolysis Bullosa Awareness Week. Epidermolysis bullosa, what is commonly referred to as the worst disease you never heard of, is a rare genetic skin condition that causes painful blisters.
In Guam, one child is battling this incurable and untreatable disease. Matsuki Hirayama has more on tonight's Coordinating for a Cause.
Supporters gathering in red for National Epidermolysis Bullosa Awareness Week, holding signs saying King fights EB and with butterflies all around. They're here to support 4-year-old Kingsley Taposnia, whose skin is as fragile as butterfly wings. Alyssa Eclavea is Kingsley's mom.
Having a condition like this is impeccably difficult. I literally have to pop these blisters every day and drain them to make him feel better. So the idea of having to hurt my child to make him feel better is just a concept that my brain hasn't wrapped around up to this day.
She says there hasn't been a single day when her son wasn't in pain. Just a slight touch of his skin causes blistering, and with no cure and no treatment, his only options are pain management and bandages.
Kingsley, every day he is hurting. Every day he does fall. But what does he do? He dusts himself off and he gets back up. If he can do it, we all can do it.
Kingsley and his family find strength in each other and the community.
Kingsley has a WordPress, and it's unapologeticmom.com.wordpress.com, and I write a lot. I think just talking about him to other people, about who he is behind the skin condition, is what really helps me to move forward. And if you look at my kid, he's amazing. He's here today. They told us he wasn't going to be alive we were going to lose him in a week or so, and he's going to be 5 on Halloween, so we're very blessed.
She says every day is a blessing with her son and a ray of light for the family, news of a treatment in Austria. It's why they're selling $5 awareness buttons. You can support Kingsley in his fight against EB by purchasing these buttons at Moza's, Linda's Diner, Fuckeye, Obsessed, J-Beauty, and Stitchcraft in Naganya.
3, 2, 1!
We fight EB! Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
And now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured today from the Marine Lab at the University of Guam in Manila.
The Guam National Weather Service predicting this weekend we'll see a 50% chance of showers. The skies will be mostly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms.
Hafa Guam, this is Senator Amanda Shelton. The 2022 general election is right around the corner on November 8th, and early voting has begun. Curbside and in-office voting are available Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 6 at the Westin in Tumon. Please bring a valid Guam ID, and I humbly ask for the honor of one of your votes. Seduus Masi.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Coltor's Treasurer.
Judy Wampat's voting record for Guam shows she will vote for herself. As Speaker of the Guam Legislature, she gave herself a $30,000 pay raise and a $15,000 retro payment. For that, Guam voted her out of office. She claims she's a fighter. If she's elected into Congress, she will fight the United States government, and Guam will lose billions of dollars in opportunities. Vote James Moylan for Congress. Jim's a real fighter for Guam and not for himself.
I'm James Moylan, and I approve this message.
Hafa Day. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan. Throughout this campaign, I've been presenting my plans to reduce inflation, rebuild our tourism industry, and fight the crystal meth and crime problems plaguing our island. Our government can do more to lift the burdens facing our families. If elected, I will be ready on day one to get to work to help make Guam safe again and urgently rebuild our economy. I humbly ask you, please vote Jesse Anderson Lujan, number 7, Republican. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
Power on with the strength of a Ram during Ram Power Days, happening now at Cars Plus Guam. Save up to $8,000 off on a brand new Ram truck today. My name is Jose Delgado, and you can contact me at 671-929-3645 to schedule a test drive, or you can visit our website at carsplusguam.com to learn more. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Hafa Day. I'm Elaine Tamanyel Johnson, and I'm voting for Joe S. Sonagastine. Woohoo!
Hafa Day. Guahu si Joe Mesngun. Kugagagaham du Toru para un fanbota si Joe S. Sonagastine para senador.
Hafa Day. I'm Crystal Augustine. I'm from Malesu, and I'm voting for Joe.
Ako si Winston Ilisito. Iboto natin si Joe San Agustin for Senator. Mabuhay!
I'm Senator Joe Shimizu San Augustine, and I approve this message.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Jay Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with some U15 basketball news as Team Guam prepares for some international competition. Check it out. Guam will be hosting the FIBA U15 Oceania Championship at the UOG Cowboy Fieldhouse November 21st through the 26th. Tournament passes for the competition are available online. Check out guamtime.net.
We'll be challenging Australia, New Zealand, and the other Pacific Islanders. Our youth group right now, we're actually teaching them to play with a shot clock, just like pushing down the ball like maybe within 16 seconds. And playing like with great ball movement, knowing when to shoot, knowing when to drive and kick, and I think that it'll be a great challenge for them.
For our young players to have success on the court, Coach Tim says confidence and teamwork will be key.
Right now we're trying to minimize dribbling because I feel like we dribble a lot here in our island. So we're trying to do a lot of ball movement, player movement, not just dribble the ball too much, just go out there. And most important thing really is decision making for our youth group.
Weigh-ins for the 2022 Copa de Marianas will take place from now to 8 p.m. at the FD Phoenix Center. Competitors are required to weigh in at least 1 hour prior to their scheduled competition tomorrow if they don't make weight tonight. Doors open tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. For more info, email 2022.copagu@gmail.com. Guam Football Association and the GFA Women's Committee signed pledges with Guam Cancer Care as its newest partners in the organization's Join the Fight campaign against cancer. GFA launched its new 4-year strategic plan with participation growth, specifically girls and women in the sport, as part of the strategy's 5 main pillars. Headlining the event was an appearance by the Masakata, Guam's women's national team, as well as the U17 and U20 national team training squads, assisting with event matches for girls in the U6 through U15 age divisions. Make sure to catch this Monday's NFL games on the stations of KUAM. Monday, October 31st at 3 in the morning, NFL on CBS, Channel 11, Pittsburgh Steelers at Philadelphia Eagles. Then at 10:15 on NBC, KUAM TV8, Sunday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. All right. And nothing completes a meal like KFC's signature sides. Hot mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a flaky biscuit. The world's favorite chicken, right here on the island, and only at KFC Guam. Whoops! Well, it is finger-licking good.
My name is Lisa Tahaji. I'm from the village of Umatic. I lost my job during COVID. For 1 year, I was staying with a family member. But I knew I had to find a place to stay. I was desperately looking for a home. I found out about the Relief Center from the Governor Lou and Lieutenant Governor Josh's Facebook page. I wasn't sure if they could help, but I thought I'd take a chance. I walked into the center and the staff were so understanding and compassionate, they helped me. Within a week, through their assistance, I was called to sign a lease agreement. My kids and I now have a roof over our heads, and I'm grateful for the help of the administration and the Relief Center. For anyone who needs any government assistance, I encourage you to visit the Relief Center. They are there to help.
Before we go, here's your birthday shout-outs.
Happy Friday birthday on this October 28th to John Marquitachai. Happy birthday from your 4 nieces, Trinity, Renesmee, Sapphire, and Imani. And they all say enthusiastically, "We love you, Uncle." Oh, 4 times the love from all nieces. That's the best. And happy belated birthday wishes to Shiley and Lyndon Moore, who were born on the 8th and 9th respectively. Belated birthdays to Shiley and Lyndon Moore. Your friends and family say they're all incredibly proud.
You can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by checking out KUAM.com. And it's Friday, so it's that time of the week to announce this week's winner.
As we do each and every Friday, we got a winner, guys, and Rudy Duenas is now the proud owner of a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake. Rudy, you were born on the 27th, and we continue to celebrate you, and we will all month long, all year long, because you're one of our very valued neighbors, and we're happy to give you this amazing extended birthday gift. Happy birthday, Rudy, and we'll be in touch to let you know when you can pick up your ice cream cake.
And that's our show. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo. Have a safe weekend and good night.
Hot day, guys, and we're back. Another week, another episode, and today we sit down with Kat Perez, who is a who goes to UOG and is studying and majoring in agriculture. Kat, thank you so much, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So, and then if you guys don't know, we did feature her for this week's Culture Club. So if you want to watch more of that, you can check out our YouTube and our Instagram for that segment. But for this one, Kat, it's like I said, it's more like the Culture Club, but in a longer version. We get to sit down and kind of chop it up and learn more about you and what you're doing and know what you're going to do next and stuff like that. So let's start there. Let's go to the beginning. Tell us more about you and what you do.
So aside from school, I do school and work. I do garden at home. I'm 3 years into it, so I'm trying to focus on what crops I really like to do and what I know the market needs or what's in demand, which for me, I really want to do root crops. Those are my favorite. Definitely calamansi and doni. Yeah, those are my 3 main right now that of course I'm going to do a little bit of like the cash crops like beans, eggplant, cucumbers and stuff, but those are mainly for my consumption and me and my family.
And and I think one of the reasons why I wanted to sit down and chat with you is, of course, you're doing that, but to really get to know why you got into it. I mean, you talk about this generation. It's you don't see a lot of kids in this generation who's literally going back into the gardens and getting their hands dirty and planting and seeing their plants grow, and from there they take it off the ground and they cook it. So we don't see a lot of kids doing agriculture. There's a lot of biology and all these awesome fields that are, like I said, it's amazing that the generation is getting into those. But agriculture is one of those that it's kind of like people are just like, oh, you do agriculture? Whoa, wow, really? Why? So why? Like, what got you into, or what made you fall in love with agriculture?
So it was when I took a break from school. I was actually in the biology program, and I was working at the same time. So it was a little difficult for me because the biology program is it's really intense. So I just needed a break. I needed to figure out if I really wanted to stick with biology, because I didn't want to waste money, you know, failing classes, and it's not where my heart is, you know. So I took a 1.5-year break. Within that break, I was working mostly, and then I can't remember, but someone had given me a plant, and I was just like, oh, I haven't touched dirt since my mama was alive, you know. And when I planted that plant, it had flourished. Like I was ecstatic to harvest just that. I think it was an eggplant, but I only was able to harvest 5 eggplants. Wow. But just within those 5 eggplants, we made the coconut milk.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
We barbecued the eggplant, and then you make it coconut milk, and then I was like, oh, this is what I want to do, you know, because I love cooking too, and I love eating. Like food is something me and my family always love to be around, you know. That's one of our favorite activities, is to go out and eat. But yeah, it was after that I decided to go pick up seeds to test my limit, you know, with it. And when I first germinated, I remember it's on my plant Instagram, but I do remember germinating pole beans. Wow. And the next day they started sprouting. And I mean, like, thinking about it now, it was like, I know that beans are one of the easiest to germinate. Right. But when I didn't know it back then, I was still really like excited, and I stuck with that feeling, you know, like, even though I know what I know now, I know my feeling was valid then because it brought me so much joy, and I decided to pursue it, and I'm so glad I did.
That's awesome. And like you said, you went from that, and then you talk about, I remember in your interview for the kamuti, is you made your first batch of, you know, you grew it, and then you pull it off the ground, and then you cooked it, and you had your family, you know,
like a
taste,
little piece,
right?
even though it was a little piece, I wanted everyone to taste what that one took me like a year and a half to like finally have that crop.
So that's amazing. Like I said, we talk about, you know, you falling in love with agriculture and sticking to it, you know, like you didn't just give up. You talked about, you know, taking a break from biology, and then, you know, now getting into agriculture, and then you're continuing this, and like I said, you went from that to your garden. So let's talk about, you know, the stuff that you have in your garden.
Right now, I recently moved, so right now I'm basically starting over. Okay. But I do have some fruit tree seedlings. Of course, my kamuti, gotta have that. Just germinated. I have seedling trays with like tomatoes, kabocha squash, watermelon. I'm basically starting from ground zero, so I don't have much, but we're getting there.
Yeah. So how's your classes and what you're learning here at UOG, the agriculture program? How's that helped you with your gardening?
Oh, a lot of it is the necessary fertilizers, what age the plant needs, and how much of fertilizer they need, and pests. Pests was a big problem for me because, like, you know, when you go online, you Google, they give you all kinds of recipes and all kinds of pesticides to use, and then it's hard to know what really works too because we're on Guam. So when I had my professors, you know, the ag professors are like the greatest because on our group chats, if we have a problem with our plant, we just take a picture. Sir, what's this? Sir, what's this? Ma'am, what's this? So I take it's a lot more scientific. Like, I know exactly what my plant needs, so I can, so they can grow better and grow more for me and my family and for my friends who I think with each year I've started planting, I was able to distribute more crops out to different, like, to not just my household, to my other family's household, to my friend's household, you know?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's amazing. I like to talk about, you know, your first ever plants. Your friend just gave you a seed and you just tried it out. And then from there, you saw something grow and saw something not only grow, but to take and eat, and that it's healthy. So that's amazing to see from you went from that to now you're learning all these ways to do it the right way, kind of.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the way to treat it in this way, like don't put too much of this and that, or
and like placement too is a big one. Some plants like direct sun, some plants like indirect sun. So you learn a lot about spacing, and how to manage your area. Because if you have a small area, you can do like intercropping or I forget the term, but you have like this big tree and then it has a shade, but it still gets sun from the plants, so you plant around it. And then you learn about like what crops are good to plant next to each other. Companion planting.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Wow. See, like all these, they're like, I wouldn't know that. Like, I didn't know, like, I would just plant, a totally different, wrong plant next to, the plant that you're not supposed to plant next to. So I think, stuff like that is cool. And I think it's literally like helped you when now you're like, you're set and you have this vision and you know how to do it the right way, that way you have crops that are flourishing. So that's amazing.
The thing I learned too about agriculture, there really isn't a right way. Like everyone finds their own way of doing it. And you get to the ultimate goal, which is to harvest your crop and to share it, But it's that journey when you do, like, you test out different recipes. Because sometimes I used to do like a dunny spray with soap, and for my aphids and mites, and it was for my cucumbers. Someone else's house, it didn't work for them.
Oh.
Yeah, so they could, like, the aphids there could be like immune to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's talk about that, like the environment of how a plant where a plant is growing, it affects it and stuff like that. So those little details, they do count. That's awesome. Well, guys, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about Kat's gardening and how she went from just feeding her family, letting her family try it, to taking it out into the public, and how she's done that. So we'll talk about that coming up after this break. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hafa Guam, this is Senator Amanda Shelton. The 2022 general election is right around the corner on November 8th, and early voting has begun. Curbside and in-office voting are available Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 6 at the Westin in Tumon. Please bring a valid Guam ID, and I humbly ask for the honor of one of your votes. Sedus Ma'as.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Cole Torres Treasurer.
Nutrition can be difficult, but we make it easy and convenient.
It's always best to do it with a friend or a group to help keep you all motivated and in check.
We have a new 6-week group wellness program that is meant to help you to eat healthier and also to live a healthier lifestyle.
Eating healthy has so many benefits like weight loss, increased energy levels, improved overall health, less doctor visits, and less money spent on medication.
So if you want to start eating healthier and you have a group of people that want to as well, come see us. Our program includes meals for 7 days a week. It also includes pre and post assessments and a standardized meal plan.
We also provide nutrition coaching, so come check us out today. We make it easy for you to eat healthy.
Let's get nutritious.
I am Vera Chargla Mendiola, and I am voting for Joe.
I am Danny Blas. I am voting for Joe.
I am Sarah Babauta Chargla Taitano, and I am voting for Joe.
My name is John Ray Taitano, and I'm voting for Joe.
I am Emily Caceres, and I'm voting for Joe.
Ako po si Junel Lombero. Iboto po natin si Joe.
My name is Anthony James Pasha Wolford, and I am voting for Joe.
I am Edith Blas, and I'm voting for Joe.
I'm Richard San Nicolas, and I'm voting for Joe.
Everything the right way.
My name is Lisa Tahaji. I'm from the village of Umatic. I lost my job during COVID. For 1 year, I was staying with a family member, but I knew I had to find a place to stay. I was desperately looking for a home. I found out about the Relief Center from the Governor Lou and Lieutenant Governor Josh's Facebook page. I wasn't sure if they could help, but I thought I'd take a chance. I walked into the center and the staff were so understanding and compassionate, they helped me. Within a week, through their assistance, I was called to sign a lease agreement. My kids and I now have a roof over our heads, and I'm grateful for the help of the administration and the Relief Center. For anyone who needs any government assistance, I encourage you to visit the Relief Center. They are there to help.
Hafa Adai and welcome back. One Micronesia podcast. We're still here with Kat Perez, a student here at UOG who's studying about agriculture, and not only studying, but she's doing agriculture. That's so cool. I mean, you talk about somebody who's just there in class, is taking notes and doing the assignment, but at the same time, she's actually at home. She has her own garden, and her family has a garden. So that's something that's cool. So Kat, let's talk about it. Your garden at home. We learned that you started from just a seed that your friend gave you, and then now you're cooking, you're growing these amazing things that you're pulling out of the ground and feeding, and then you're having your family try it, and then now you've gone from that to kind of getting out to the public. You talk about in your segment of Culture Club, you talked about how people are asking you for seeds. So let's talk about that. Like how did you go from just Kat and garden at home to Kat out in the public and sharing with the community?
So when I started my planting journey, I started my Instagram at the same time, my plant Instagram. I wanted to, document my failures and success, all the good and bad. And it was through that when I was posting, I was germinating a lot of seeds, and I had way too much for my plot or for me to manage at the time. And so I was like, does anybody want? And then I was like, maybe I should try selling, like $1, $2 for the plant itself. And then I realized like the plants do good for selling, but for me, I felt it was better if I grew the plant and then I could sell the produce.
Wow. So
that's where I was at with my Instagram too. I was letting my plants grow, and then I would post what I'd harvest.
And how was that? So, like I said, you felt this feeling of happiness when you had your family try your kamuti for the first time. You have it being cooked, right? Like a piece each, right? And then how does that feeling when you take all these produce that you've grown over time to the public, and how is that reaction from the people coming to your booth or people you seeing or buying your stuff, your produce?
I remember this one season I was growing cigadillas, and man, they were getting this big. And usually when cigadillas get this big, it's hard. But mine were still, like, it was perfect.
Wow.
And so when I was giving to my friends now, one of my best friends, she was like, Tinanam Diary cigadillas is guaga, is beast. And I was like, yeah, it is. That that compost is working, because that's also when I started my composting.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's like I'm saying, like you've learned so much from just like using whatever dirt is there, and now you're adding into it, and not in a chemical way, but you're putting in the right stuff to grow these amazing produce. So that's awesome.
It's like my food waste from home going back into my plants to feed my plants, and then it's going to feed me in turn. That's the whole cycle of.
So now I'm thinking you're buying these from the store, but no, this is you're literally making at home.
Yeah, my compost. I have a small little kind of like a barrel thing that you can just turn when you need to.
Oh.
So that's what I do with my compost. So it's just, you need your greens and your browns. Greens is the nitrogen source, and your browns are your carbon source. Yeah, so that's just like brown leaves, paper. I mostly use paper and brown leaves. And then the greens is the food waste from when we're cooking. So like the onion peels, garlic peels.
Wow.
Rinds, banana peels, all that stuff.
Wow. Like I said, it's so cool to see like how you've evolved as a gardener, pretty much.
Yeah.
From just learning how to, I remember in the segment, it was something that really meant a lot to you when you were with your grandparents, and you were telling a story about how you would sit on your grandma's lap, and then your grandpa will make the hole, and then you just pass over the plant. So you went from that to actually doing it, and now you're doing big things. That's so cool.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So you're out there, and then let's talk about because you do honey too. So now you've kind of evolved. You talked about going from just growing the smallest of plants to now you've evolved into, you've added beekeeping to
my life. Now I'm getting into livestock. Cool. It's crazy.
So let's talk about that. How did you get into beekeeping?
So there's a beginner farmer rancher development program with the Research Corporation of UOG, which is new. I think this is the first time they've ever had a program like this, and I'm taking all the opportunity I can with this program, like doing the internships and the workshops that they do. And this beekeeping workshop was one of them. Someone had reached out to me on Instagram if I was interested in the workshop. Wow. Because I had already been pursuing plants for so long, and so they knew like my passion for agriculture was there. And I knew nothing about beekeeping at the time, and she had told me that we were going to get a bee box. But you know, when you're really excited, you're just like, yeah, I'll do it. And then
I'm down.
I like sat down with it and I was like, whoa, I'm going to have a bee box and I'm going to get honey. So I had to then I started planning out where I'm going to put it. And then I didn't dive into much about what the biology of bees and what they need, because I didn't know what species of bee we had here. So when that workshop came and Chris Rosario did that presentation, we learned about bee biology, bee behavior, bee pests, what we need to do for the bees, which isn't much. They're the easiest livestock, I would think. But yeah, that's how I got into beekeeping.
Wow. And then, I remember I saw a picture that you were selling, you're selling honey. That's awesome. You're literally doing you're growing and you're looking after these bees, and then they provide honey, and then you take that to, so how's the reaction out there when people are trying out your honey for the first time?
Oh my gosh. So when I harvested almost a little over 20 jars of honey. Some were 8 ounce and some were 16 ounce. People were already messaging, because I was posting about it as I was going through the journey of hand squeezing my honey. People were already messaging me, can I buy one? Can I buy one? Wow. So I started putting Post-its on everyone's honey. And by the time Green Night came along, I only had 7 jars. I didn't even have any I didn't think to save a jar for myself until I distributed everyone's honey that that was my friends and family. I didn't charge them. I wanted them to try my honey. That was something I was excited for a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So a majority of my first batch went to my friends and family. And then they loved it. Everyone, most of the feedback I got was I could drink this with a straw. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They said it was it had a slight floral taste to it, which made sense because the area I was living had Ilang Ilang, Chain of Love. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Like you said, from starting, and then you had your own garden. Now you're adding beekeeping and honey making to the resume there. That's a pretty epic resume. That's awesome. Guys, we're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we'll talk to Kat and find out what's next for her. Is she gonna add more onto that resume? Or is she gonna start? I don't know what else is there out of the world that I'm pretty sure she can find and try. So we'll find out what she's got next. Coming up. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Johnny Kinata. I'm the mayor of Fumatak, and I'm supporting Jonathan Savares.
Hafa, I'm Mayor Robert Hoffman, and I'm honored to be here to address you today in support of Jonathan Savares and his candidacy for senator.
John Savares comes from a long line of public servants. His great-grandfather, Vicente Sanagas de Benventu, was our village commissioner and an educator. His grandparents, Joe and Oliva Savares, worked for the naval government. His mother, our current mayor of Dededo, has been one of the longest serving public servants on Guam, Mayor Melissa Savares. John comes from a family of servants doing good for the people of Guam.
Hafa, I am Mayor Melissa Savares, and I humbly ask for one of your votes for my son Jonathan Savares for senator. Sizus Maasi.
I'm John Savares, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Jonathan Savares, Josephine Saunders, Treasurer.
Introducing the new Choice Bundles from GTA. Choose from the services you want and save big when you bundle. Fast internet speeds, unlimited mobile data, digital TV that you can stream anywhere, and digital home phone for Guam's most reliable network. The more you choose, the more you save. Over $1,000 a year. And for a limited time, bundle Internet 75 or higher and get a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and use our bundle calculator to see how much you can save. GTA, we start with you.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Half a day. I'm Judy Wanpat, daughter of Ana Salas Perez and Antonio Borja Wanpat. Today, I humbly ask for your vote. As an educator, legislator, single mom, and a small business owner, I understand the hardships of living here and what it takes to make positive change for Guam. I am committed to working for our families, our economy, and our environment so that Guam is truly a better place for all of us to live and thrive. I'm Judy Wanpat, and I approve this message.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
Hopney, and we're back. One of my Indonesia podcasts. We're still here with Kat Perez, a student here at the UOG studying agriculture. And not only that, like I said, we talk about studying. She's in class. She's learning about these things. And after she's done, she's taking it out to her garden at home and then applying all that she's learned. She went from gardening. Now she's added beekeeping to the resume there. So, and then honey making. Wow, that's amazing. So Kat, like, I know before we threw it to break, like I was teasing, like, you know, what's next? So what are you going to add on to that resume? What is next for Kat Perez?
So my dad and I are planning on becoming bona fide farmers. That is like, in January 22, that was my goal. That's my goal for the year. That's what I wanted. And then we're going to finally do it, hopefully, before the fall semester starts. I'm also getting a hydroponic system set up at my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, told you guys.
And then my dad and I also want to do chickens. So since we're already cleaning the back, you know, we're going to get the chicken set up. I want a goat. That is my one goal in the next 2 or 3 years.
Get a goat. Wow.
I want a goat.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, you talk about, you know, like you started about your little plants, the seed that you got. You started with little plants. You went to that to more, you know, your kamuti, to that, to beekeeping, and then now you're adding all of that. It's honestly nice. And I know you talked about it in your interview that like each year you're learning something each year as you know when you first started. So that's pretty awesome to keep doing that each and every year. That's awesome. What else is the next after? So you guys are going to add that to, how about school? What's, when it comes to, you know, what are you looking forward to?
Definitely graduating soon. Afterwards, I do want to pursue maybe a master's or PhD in plant pathology, ecology, or environmental science. I love research and I love being out in the field, which is why I work at a farm. Yeah.
So, you know, Kat, tell us more about, you know, future pop-ups. I know there's going to be a lot of events coming up. So is there any specific events? Are you going to do more of that coming up?
I think by the time I get my bona fide farmer certificate, I'm not sure what more requirements I need to be selling my produce at Chamorro Village.
Wow.
Yeah, my friend is really encouraging me.
You should.
And then by the time I have my next harvest, which is this weekend,
nice.
There'll be a booth and bootlegs, I believe.
Definitely, you can catch Kat at like all these other events that's coming up.
Yeah, if you just stay tuned on my Instagram, that's usually when I'll post it, when I'll be.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, continue to do that. And like I said, I mean, we did see you at your work on Culture Club at you know, Farm to Table, which is literally amazing. And I hope, you know, we'll get to that in just a little bit in the next part, you know, where you talk to the younger generation and see, you know, to kind of encourage them to kind of get back into what we're doing, what you're doing, because it's amazing, and because it's what our ancestors were doing. You know, like they were growing their own food and you know, hunting and fishing. I mean, that's what the lifestyle was back then. So it's nice to see you and this generation and what you're pursuing, and hopefully people who follow your Instagram get inspired. So we'll come back. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll have you do that message to them. So you're watching the One Mic News podcast, and we'll be right back.
My name is Lisa Tahaji. I'm from the village of Umatic. I lost my job during COVID. For 1 year, I was staying with a family member, but I knew I had to find a place to stay. I was desperately looking for a home. I found out about the Relief Center from the Governor Lou and Lieutenant Governor Josh's Facebook page. I wasn't sure if they could help, but I thought I'd take a chance. I walked into the center and the staff were so understanding and compassionate. They helped me. Within a week, through their assistance, I was called to sign a lease agreement. My kids and I now have a roof over our heads, and I'm grateful for the help of the administration and the Relief Center. For anyone who needs any government assistance, I encourage you to visit the Relief Center. They are there to help.